Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. Liverpool scammed their win yesterday. Katie was completely wrong. She said 4-1 to PSG, and she was completely wrong on the football terrace the other day. She's been called out everywhere on the internet because she hates Liverpool. And she wanted Liverpool to lose so badly that she cheered up the offside goal. Of course, Jamie Phillips is here with us, of course, after a magnificent win and a fantastic win yesterday by Liverpool away from home. Jessica Black is here, of course, with all the Arsenal props, of course. So Jess is going to join us in a second, of course, in a couple of minutes. Hit that like button, people, if you are here. Subscribe to the channel. If you are new, of course, we're talking Liverpool, Champions League. We're talking Arsenal in the Champions League. A lot of people are saying Arsenal will make history and they can beat Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. And people are saying no. People are saying no, no chance. But Arsenal made history. Spurs must win Europa League now in the current moment. Man United play tonight. Chelsea are going to play Copenhagen. We're going to talk about Chelsea and Spurs, of course. I just want to say a couple of things. I reached 30K, 30,000 subscribers yesterday. So that was a magnificent achievement for myself, and big up the community and everyone that is helping me. And all the content creators that are actually helping me. They are donating their time for the channel. And we got 3 magnificent people here that always have been helping me and always have been humble and joining the channel to have a good chat. So you guys enjoy it. So hit that like button, people. Subscribe to the channel and you're on the way to 50K. Just before we go on and talk about the show, Jessica has just launched a new channel. It's called Jessica Black TV. Talks about other things as well. So I'm going to let her actually plug her channel in. It's a new channel, barely just starting yesterday. So what is that channel about? Why is it different from She Knows Arsenal?
Yeah, so it's more of kind of like the content that I do on like a regular basis on my Instagram. So I talk about football and culture, music, fashion, and how it all interconnects. And so my first video came out and I spoke a little bit about, it's Women's History Month. So I talked a little bit about that and, a soccer player that's her football player that's changed the women's game. I spoke about the Louis Vuitton and Real Madrid collaboration, as well as Issa Rae and Thames buying into San Diego FC in the MLS. So yeah, it's a little bit of that kind of content, cultural content. So yeah, I'll be doing vlogs on there and sharing a little bit about my life a little bit more if I get the strength.
You're a celebrity now, I know.
I'm like, no, I'm not a celebrity. Nina's
are a celebrity. You work
for a celebrity.
You work for La Liga themselves. You actually do game previews for La Liga themselves. So you're kind of a celebrity. There are thousands of people that know who you are, hundreds of thousands of people that watch your Instagram posts before the games and after the game. So you are a celebrity.
You, and I appreciate that. But yeah, you guys, if you want to, go ahead and follow that channel. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, thank you so much, Mo, for plugging that for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I tagged it in the description as well, along with She Knows Arsenal. Jamie Phillips, of course, his channel is in the description. Fantastic Liverpool content. As usual, Sam couldn't join us today. And we upgraded with Jamie, more rational, not as cocky as Sam, as Kate always says about Sam. Of course, not as arrogant. Jamie's kind of humble, knows his football, not like Sam. So knows about football and everything. And of course, the brilliant Kate is here. Kate and Jimbo channel is in the description as well. I actually, guys, let's get to 100 likes, 150 people in the house, and we're just starting the show. So hit that like button, people. I actually want to get Spurs out of the way before we talk about Liverpool and Arsenal. Europa League tonight. Big game for Mr. Ange Postecoglou. Kulusevski's injured. What are your chances of winning Europa League, and how do you see that in Ange's tenure if he wins Europa League?
Look, first of all, thanks for the introduction, Mo. We won't mention the 4-1 prediction, and then it was the first thing that came out of your mouth. So thank you for that. Look, I'm shocked that we're favourites. I didn't even know. I didn't even know that we were favourites to win it. Do I think we've got a chance? We've obviously got a chance because we're in it. But listen, for me, I spoke about it on my channel yesterday. Jimbo completely disagrees with me. I don't care if we win it or not. For me, Ange Postecoglou, I don't want him to be taking us forward next season. And I know that's bonkers because he'd be the first manager to win a trophy in like 17 years. But it's just the style of play and the up and down way of the season. It's just been unbearable. But it will be a kind of band-aid over how bad it's been this season if we do manage to sort of get a Europa League win. Ange has got to get a Europa League win. I think if we go out against AZ Alkmaar, the fans will be in uproar. I don't think he'll get sacked. The fans will go into an absolute uproar. But look, we've got a chance. We're 4-1 favourites. I think that Bilbao, Man United, 6-1. So they are, putting us as favourites. I'm not sure it's warranted particularly, but we'll have to wait and see. But I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit.
Why is that? Like, why that? Oh my God! I actually think you can. If I'm looking at the route for you, I genuinely believe that you can win it. There is no one at your side apart from Lazio that can cause you trouble, to be honest. And Lazio is a team that, like, they can have fun puff. Like, when we played them, we just peppered their goal. Like, I genuinely believe that Spurs can win Europa League. Like, I don't understand why you're like, okay, let me. Of course, you would say that Ange would stay, and you would be happy with it if you win Europa League, right?
No, I wouldn't.
What? This is ridiculous.
No, I hear
this is ridiculous.
I know, and I hear myself saying it, and I think it's bloody ridiculous. And I think to myself, what are you talking
You sound
about?
crazy. Actually, you haven't seen a trophy in years, and then because you don't like the manager.
No, I don't. I don't dislike the manager. I don't dislike Ange. I love him. I'd love for him to work. I just don't think it works in the Premier League. It may work in cup competition like the Europa League, but it's not a sustainable way of playing.
No, but you won't win the Premier League anyway. Not in the near future. So that cup competitions is your bread and butter.
Correct, but if you turn around to Arsenal and say, look, you're not going to win the Premier League, but you're regularly be fighting for the cups. But
you're not Arsenal. You're not Arsenal. It's like, what is this?
Well, I know we're not Arsenal.
Kate, you're not Arsenal. You're the Arsenal are in contention to win the Premier League 3 years in a row. You aren't. You have challenged 1 year over the past 30 years. You have challenged 1 year, which is the Leicester year. You're not Arsenal.
I don't want to be fighting relegation either. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't want it to be one or the other. I don't want it to have to be a side that, we might nick a cup, but we're going to be the bottom half of the table every year, because it's not sustainable to be like that. The injuries we've had this season are ridiculous amounts of injuries, and it's aligned with Celtic when Ange was there. The hamstrings going all the time. there's something with this style of play. If it was a reasonable style of play and a successful style of play, everyone would do it. But I don't even think the best team with the best players. I mean, PSG last night, that's how Ange Postecoglou wants us to play, right? I watch them. They're 100 mile an hour from 1 minute to 90 minutes, trying all the time, pressing forward all the time. But our players don't do that because they're not good enough. And we'll never get those players because Daniel Levy won't pay the wages to get those players. And our scouting team are useless. So for me, I just don't think Ange Postecoglou's style of play will ever get us anywhere in the Premier League. And I'm not saying that I think we're going to win the Premier League anytime soon. But when you had someone like Poch come in, admittedly, he was lucky, everything fell into place. But we had such a good squad and he got us playing such good football. I don't look at the football we're playing. I don't even enjoy watching us play anymore. I don't see this exciting.
I like it. I think you're one of the most entertaining team in the league.
Because you're neutral. As a Tottenham fan, it's a heart attack waiting to happen every game, every single game. I mean, if I didn't have grey hair already, I would have after this season because it's just been horrendous. Even if we're 1-0 up, 2-0 up, I'm literally shitting myself until the last minute because we look as open as anything. But the one saving grace is we've got Romero van der Ven back from injury. They've travelled with the squad. We've got Solanke back. He's travelled with the squad. So we are getting some of our players back. But even when we had our first team, we were still getting turned over and getting shocking results. So, I mean, I know it sounds bonkers because Ange Postecoglou will probably get a statue if he bloody won the Europa League. But it's taking us forward. I don't like it. But I don't think it matters. I think he stays with us till the end of his contract, whatever happens. I think Levy's
I don't know what the rest of the panel think, but I think if Ange Postecoglou win Europa League and he finished top half of the table, he overachieved.
Nah, actually.
Think about it. All these injuries.
You may have aced that. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. The guy is playing Davis, and what is the other guy's name? What's the kid's name?
Archie Gray.
Yeah.
Archie Gray as centre backs. He had his main goalkeeper injured all season.
Yeah.
Right? Udogie was injured all season. Bentancur was suspended for 8 games. Solanke's injured. Son is falling apart. Kulusevski's injured. Bissouma cannot hit a ball now. And he is going for contention to win Europa League. That is overachieving. 100%.
I think Mo might be right. But once you're done with a manager, you're just done. It's really hard to come back from it. I can understand where Kate is with that. She's like, I've seen enough. And I think that the problems are not just about they're not injury enforced. He hasn't changed his style because the injuries. He hasn't changed anything. He's going to maintain this style when he gets the people back. And even when they had their main team, they had some issues in terms of keeping the goals out and not being wide open. So how is he going to, maneuver around that? So I can understand why Kate has the ick. She's done.
Yeah, I mean, Jess is right. I've defended this guy pretty much until about the last 2 months. I've said, no, we've got to stick with this guy. But I don't think we've progressed in any way. I just don't see that we've gone forward in
Isn't
any
it
way.
because of the injuries, though?
Yeah, but you can't blame everything on injuries because even when we had our full squad, we weren't getting the points on the board. Apart from the first 10 games, we've had some diabolical results with a full squad.
Listen, I said that Ange should be sacked, but if he wins Europa League, I think this is it. Contract for life.
There's some there is some tough games in there, though, isn't there? Tottenham are on the good side of the draw, though. I will say they're on the good side of the draw. But Lazio, I'd have Lazio probably favourites, and Athletic and Bilbao as my probably 2 favourites in that competition.
You're telling me that Lazio is stronger than Spurs if they have their whole team back?
Yeah, I actually think Spurs are better when they haven't got their full strength team.
Wow.
Why?
And the reason I say that is because at least he tries to play a little bit more defensively at times without his full strength team. When he's got his full strength team, he's even more higher up and more attack minded, which makes him easier to score against.
No, I disagree. I think
Tottenham are easier to play against with their full strength team than they are without it. I really do.
I think on paper, if you look at all the teams, on paper, I think we should win it. but football isn't played on paper. I think we're stronger than Lazio and Atletico Bilbao and Man United on paper, but it's whether the mentality at Tottenham Hotspur is terrible. I've said it for the last 23 years. It is absolutely shocking. They just don't know how to get over the line. They've got no leaders there. We've got a captain, like you say, that's falling apart, who's well past his sell-by date, but bless him, we, persevere with him like we did with Lloris, play until they literally collapse. And if we win this, do you know what? If we win it, Mo, and I come back on your show, I'll probably be completely changed and flip-flop and go, Ange Postecoglou should be a sir. He's amazing. But at the minute, it's because I just can't see us winning it. I just can't.
I think Tottenham go through against Alkmaar, but I don't think they beat Frankfurt because I think Frankfurt will beat Ajax.
No, I see the other. I see Tottenham Hotspur, to be honest, going all the way.
Yes, Mo. This is why I like you. You're making me feel a little bit happier today.
It's the gaslighting in me that always happens. Of course, it's the gaslighting in me.
He builds you up to break you down, Kate.
Yeah, that's what it is. No, look, someone's put even on paper you'll bottle it, and that's the fear. That's the fear. This is the Tottenham that we know, that we get to a semi-final, we get to a final like we did in the Champions League, and we just don't turn up. And that's what the fear is. The only good thing I'll say is we've got a lot of young players that haven't been in that position before, and they play without fear. And it's whether that they could step up and do something much like Waneri has done for Arsenal. But we've got to get there first. I'm taking every game as it comes. I think we will get through against Alkmaar, and then we'll see what happens from there. I'm not getting ahead of myself.
The only team in that competition, actually, that I'm completely ruling out is Manchester United. But I know at the end we might see Man United win the competition and play Champions League football next season. Can you, if that happens?
My gosh!
They're not even going to beat Real Sociedad.
Imagine if they did. Imagine if they did. They're going to go tonight to Real Sociedad. Imagine if they did. If they get a win tonight, that would be absolutely hilarious.
To have beat Man United 3 times this season, but meet them in the final and lose. That is Spurs all over. So,
but you know that if you meet Man United in the final, you will lose. We know that.
That's what I mean. So I'm taking every day as it comes, every game as it comes.
Absolutely. Guys, like the video, just moving on from Spurs to actually Chelsea. I want to get the Chelsea and Spurs out of the way. Copenhagen tonight. Palmer is registered with these guys. His form has been dropping lately. I'm not sure. I see Chelsea going through in this competition, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think it is for Chelsea actually tonight. Copenhagen are top of their league. Chelsea have not been in a good form lately. Palmer, yes, is registered, but they don't have a striker still. I think Copenhagen can cause them trouble. I haven't watched Copenhagen this season at all, but I don't think that Chelsea are as strong as we thought they have been in the beginning of the season. A lot of people are saying now that it's Enzo Maresca or the board, and they signed the 17 years old. They spent 10 million euros on him. No, none of us heard of him. So the recruitment continues, of course, the way they recruit players. How do you see the Chelsea campaign in the Conference League, Jess?
Can you hear me? Because my mic's...
We can, yes, we can.
Yeah, I don't think we're in a terrible spot as people think, purely because the league is not as always competitive. So therefore means that Chelsea, despite being really poor the last month or so, still can probably finish top 3 or top 4 in the league, to be honest with you. So in that aspect, I'm not too worried, especially if our first team players coming back. I think after international break, we should have our first team all back, albeit Jackson and Madueke will probably be 3-4 weeks fresh, so they won't be fully fit. But with our first team back, there's no reason to me not to believe Chelsea won't make top 4. In terms of the Conference League today, you're right. Probably comes at a decent time because Chelsea's been bad form in the league. A lot of teams mid-table with above are causing us problems. So this, in theory, should be a chance for Chelsea to pick up form and to get another win under our belt. But yeah, I don't think that, the Chelsea fans melting down about the recruitment and stuff. 2 months ago, we're seeing we got our Chelsea back. So I wouldn't go with their opinion too much. The reason why I sit somewhere in the middle or leaning towards being more, it's going to be okay in the end, is because this is the same team that assembled, which has progressed this season. Despite the fact we're at the 2 cups, we have progressed this season.
You haven't progressed this season.
We're literally like 10 points better off than we were last season.
His form in the last like 10, 12 games has been awful.
Here's the thing, because we were second for 18 games or third.
Yes.
If we were fourth the whole time or fifth the whole time, there wouldn't be this outrage because it'll be the mean. But because we peaked so high and we've dropped so low, we've lowered in the middle a bit. That's why the perception seems so off. So Chelsea was to finish top 4. Are these same people going to be upset again?
Yeah, but I have. This is a very good argument, Jess. Before you go on, this is all the panel. Because the league is so tight, right? Does it matter if Chelsea finish top 5 or top 4, or they finish 6? Because if you cannot judge a manager or a campaign based on like one game or 2-3 points. You can't judge it. You have to judge Chelsea based on the performances, and people have not been like the performances. You cannot tell me that I'm going to judge the whole campaign of Chelsea if he wins the last game and get 3rd, while if he lost the last game, he would have been 6th or something like this. You get my point? We need to we need to judge Chelsea based on what we're watching. Not, like, for example, Aston Villa are 10th. Within one game, Aston Villa can be 5th. Does that change your perception of the team within one game? That is wrong.
That's my point, Mo. That's literally, you just made my point. You're agreeing with me. Because 1 minute ago, like literally a month ago, some fans were saying we got our Chelsea back. Literally 3-4 weeks later on, they're completely U-turned and doing protests. That's my point.
Yeah, because the performances and the board have not got the striker, and the performances have not been great.
It's not the performances. It's not the performance. It's the results.
No, it is the performance. Are you going to deny that the performances have been so bad lately?
Do you like
I wouldn't say. I would not. You watch Chelsea a lot. They haven't been so bad.
I watch every game.
Would you say the Aston Villa game? Okay, let me name some games. Would you say the Aston Villa game was so bad?
The problem for me is not the first half. It's always going to be the second half for Chelsea. For the last 15 games, 12 of them, Chelsea have been second best in the second half, which is the manager's job, to set up the team better in the second half. He puts in the lineup in the first half. You miss chances, yes. But in the second half, you're always been second best. And that is the main problem for the manager and the players. Why is Cole Palmer not performing well? Why Jadon Sancho has 1 assist in the last 11 games? Why Colwell has been making mistakes lately? Kukurea has regressed from the beginning of the season, right? Forget the goalkeeper. Both are not great, right? Malo Gusto have been not great as lot. Malo Gusto was in contention for the best right back in the league last season. We're talking about Malo Gusto. A lot of Chelsea fans say that we need to move on. We need to get someone better. The only player that has been consistent for Chelsea is Enzo Fernandez. Everyone else has regressed. Everyone.
Again. I think, in my opinion,
even Caicedo have regressed.
Oh yeah, again. I feel it's
not reactionary. I'm not reactionary. It's not.
I'm not saying reactionary. I'm just saying you're being a bit hyperbolic. That's all. Because you're making out like Chelsea's. The results have been crap. I think we've got 3 wins in 11. So I'm not going to deny that. But when you say the performances, and in the second half we tail off, I wouldn't say that's been the case every single game. What I would say, to answer your question, why we've fallen off, you could say, is because in conjunction we've had a lot of issues. The injuries came at the same time as poor form, the same time as Maresca's pressure. They all happened at the same time. At the worst part of the season, we were playing 3-4 times in the space of 2-3 weeks. That's the problem. And because it all happened at once, and we have a young team on top of that, we don't have the VVDs or even VVD level. Forget that level. We haven't got like an experienced quality centre back we've got, right? Not even the Mark Gahey level. This is what's going to happen. If you I
said Chelsea want Mark Gahey.
If you have Mark Gahey today, and
he'll be much better.
Competent. Give me a competent striker in the league.
Anyone. I promise you, anyone.
Cool.
Give
me a name. Who's competent?
I don't know.
Welbeck. If we had a Welbeck and Gahey right now,
if you have my
Welbeck.
Cool. Let's say Welbeck and Gahey, who aren't even great, they're just like decent, good players, right? Chelsea wouldn't be where we are. I reckon we'd be third in the league easily. Just 2 decent players. So it's not just the injuries or just Maresca or just this. I think it's all of these issues in one.
Do you know what the problem? Before I let Jamie and Jess and Kate come in, you know the problem is, halfway through the season, a lot of us, including other people as well, Liverpool fans and everyone, said that Chelsea next season with 2-3 signings will be competing. That is gone now. I don't think Chelsea will be competing.
How is that gone?
I need more of 3 signings.
Because I lost faith in the manager. because of the performances that happened
But
lately.
I also think some of the players, like you're seeing the level now. Like you're seeing that, like just because you buy a lot of players, which you do, and you buy a lot of quality players, there was some duds mixed in there that were adding to the hype job that was coming. Sancho's not it. João
Yeah.
Felix was getting gas. He was not it.
Vega.
Mudryk, shit. Your center backs are not, they're not at the level that you need to challenge. They're not even at like Ruben Diaz and those guys level, and people are talking about them crazy. I don't even know if they're Romero and what's his name?
Van de Ven.
Yeah, Van de Ven.
You know, this is the problem with this argument, which is very. It's not just you said this. Everyone says this. Chelsea's problem is the players are relying on are very injury prone. That's our fault. That's not your fault. That's not the rivals. That's not Mo's fault. The players we rely upon, who helped us be second in the league to the position you guys all said should be challenging from, are Lavia, Fofana, Jackson. All these guys who are still young are our main like profiles. When they're missing, you're seeing these players play. If Liverpool had to play Endo, Gomez, and Elliott for the same time we've had to play left, for example, Lavia, Fofana, and Jackson, they wouldn't be where they are. That's the argument Arsenal use. Well, that's different conversation, right? My point is, this is where Mo goes, you're not there anymore with the 3 players away from challenging. I disagree. Because if we replace those profiles, replace who aren't injury prone, I don't think Chelsea with Lavia, Fofana fit throughout this whole period of time would be 4th, 5th in the league. I think we'd be higher. I think we're Arsenal.
I guess my question would be then, so
because we're 2 wins away from Arsenal, right? You're telling me that Chelsea couldn't have picked up 2 wins in the last 11 games?
Yeah, I know a lot of people do the like, but we're only so much points behind you, blah, blah, blah. But like 6 points is still 6 points in the end.
Would you say Chelsea had a terrible last 2 months?
No, you did. Well, since you had like that one moment where you were meant to go top, and then from literally that moment,
it was Everton.
You were really poor
Everton,
that whole time.
Yeah,
I guess what I'm saying is that like, because again, at the beginning of the season, you had this group of players, and they were playing really well. You're saying that you're relying upon good players that are injury prone that probably need to be replaced, maybe because if they're injury prone,
minimum,
and then the players beneath them are not good enough. The Nkunku.
I wouldn't say they're not good enough. If you have a squad of players, right, and you're having to constantly use your B team players, the levels is naturally going to drop because nobody on this world can have 22 first team players, right? So if I said to even Man City, look at Man City without Rodri. Now they've had more issues than just Rodri, but you're seeing what I'm trying to say, right? Look at Liverpool. They've had VVD, Gravenberch, Salah fit most of the season. That's their spine. And Alisson, obviously their spine as well. He's been injured. But you get my point. If you had to replace Endo, Gomez, and Elliott in there for 2 months, Arsenal will probably be leaving the league. Yes, it'd be stinky, but that's just my argument. So if we can replace
Can I just say one last thing on that? Because all I'm saying is that I don't think your issue is just injuries. I do think that like some of your players are just not as good as maybe you thought that they were.
What players did you say aren't as good as we thought?
A lot of them.
Like who?
Including Caldwell is a big one. Fofana, Cucurella, Gusto. Like they're not. Medweki to me is very hit or miss.
Sancho,
Pedro Neto doesn't get spoken about a lot, but he's very like that's all I'm saying is that I don't know if it's just injuries. You have a huge squad full of a lot of quality that you guys were saying like, but I remember seeing the tweets, so-and-so's out. We got these players. I'm just saying sometimes the reality of your squad is some of the players are not as good as you think.
No, that's true.
Jurgensen, for example.
Yeah, the goalkeeper thing. You never heard
the goalkeeper thing is a howler from the boards. A howler. That was a howler in scouting.
Is it unpopular to say even maybe Cole Palmer? I mean, we're having conversations right now about what is his true level. He was elevated to a world-class player very, very early, and he's dropped off to a level of if any other world-class player has dropped off the level that he has, we'd be really having conversations.
And
Cole Palmer's a wonderful player.
This is the thing, like we could do originally what we want. Like we're not going to do that. That conversation is kind of it gets a bit wonky.
I'm not revising anything. This is the reality right now. We're having conversations about Cole Palmer falling off. That's not revisionism. That's literally what we are in right now.
So this is what I'm trying to say, right? It's falling off. You can't challenge free. If we got 3 players in the summer, let's say who we're linked with. Let's say the Lap. People even rate the Lap. Let's say the Lap. A Kimmich on loan, or whoever it is, and Gahey. You're telling me Chelsea can't challenge?
I didn't say Chelsea can't.
This is what I'm
challenge with
saying.
extra players.
What I'm
I'm
trying
saying
to make is,
I think your issues are beyond injuries. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
That's
cool.
the key
I
thing that I'm
preferenced this at the beginning saying it wasn't just injuries. I also said Maresca's under pressure because the title challenge. I've also
and your
said the
team
players
is not
roster.
as talented. That was my point. That
Yeah,
made
yeah,
me-
I know, I understood your point, but I already prefaced by saying already beginning before I spoke. I said injuries, the manager's under pressure, and the players aren't performing on form. One reason or another could be system, could be confidence, could be the pressure as well, just like the manager. Whatever the issue is, that's people to decide. My thing is 19 games isn't a small sample size. I'm sorry. 20 games is not a small sample size. Oh, it's a bit of a fluke. You know, he had a bit of a good run. A good run isn't half the season. Maybe Spurs was a good run because that was 10 games. Fine, I can accept that. But 20 games in January, being able to go top of the league in January, I'm sorry, no one could tell me this team, you know, yeah, you just had a good run. No. So my point is, Chelsea at that point had the second highest amount of goals. And for defence being so bad, we could see with the third best defence. It was also Liverpool above us in January, by the way.
Mhm.
So this is where the conversation goes on the manager, the injuries, and the pressure. So now when people go to me now in the last 2 months, oh, Jess, look, your team, you can't challenge next year. Well, we challenged for 20 games. And there's no reason to believe, why can't I sit here and say Chelsea won't comfortably make top four from now? And this conversation becomes, so I don't know, it depends how it ends the season. If we end the season 6th in the league, like 10 points behind 4th, then the quality of the players, I'll definitely question myself. But I personally don't see that happening. So time will tell, I guess. So Jess could be right, you know.
Can I ask, should Nottingham Forest be challenging next season? Because they've challenged more in Chelsea this year.
Well, what's your point? Are you trying to say Nottingham Forest better than Chelsea?
Yeah, because you're saying that Chelsea should be up there again next season because they challenged for 20 games. Nottingham Forest have challenged all season. So shouldn't Forest be going next season as well?
But Forest are better than Forest are second in the league now or third?
Third.
When were they second for the? Wasn't they above Arsenal like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, been second and third all season.
By your definition, Forest should be title challenging above another 18 teams now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if we're using that talk about,
that's your definition. That's what he's saying. That's your definition.
I look at Chelsea like
have
this.
Forest been second for 20 games?
Not if I
haven't been. Have you been second for 20 games?
I mean, like,
they've actually been, but they haven't really fallen as far as you have. They've actually been more consistent. So you're saying that peaks.
They're sitting 2 points.
Peaks,
no, sitting 2 points upon me.
You're saying peaks are more important than consistency. Nottingham Forest haven't went through a bad run that you guys have. Well, if you guys haven't,
2 points in front of us.
Okay.
This Mo's point was correct when he said 1 minute we're going to say Chelsea here, then we're going to say Chelsea here. This conversation can't be week to week. Literally last week, Jess, people were laughing at me going, oh, Chelsea 7th. And now with one win, I think we can end up 3rd.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here at 1 minute and go, oh, we're terrible, you know. All it takes for Chelsea to beat Leicester.
That's not what I'm not even saying you're terrible.
But all it takes for Chelsea to beat Leicester, which we definitely should, draw against Arsenal, which is definitely a possibility at the way Arsenal and Chelsea looking right now. And all of a sudden it's, Chelsea can get top 3. Or we lose against Leicester and lose against Arsenal, and everyone goes to me again, Chelsea are going to finish top 10. It's week to week. It's wonky. It's a bit lazy, a bit hyperbolic. I think Chelsea's got to prove everyone right or wrong.
But it's also what we talked about at the very beginning. It's not just results based, like everything, because with you, it's like we're only 6 points away, we're only 3 points away, we're only 2 points away. I genuinely feel like watching your games, your performances have informed a lot more than just the results. Your performances, maybe you look at it differently. When you're looking at it from your perspective, maybe you think it's better than what it is. I don't see as much progression as maybe you guys do see, but that's just me, you know. So I'm looking at the performances, not just the results.
I just want to know what poor performances have we seen from Chelsea recently when you're like, you know what, they didn't deserve nothing from that game. Because the Aston Villa game, we 1,000,000,000% you're left with a draw, at least a draw.
Mm-hmm.
And the same Cole Palmer, I've ridiculed, and we've done so far in this panel a little bit.
Yeah.
Had 2 clear chances to score.
Mm-hmm.
So we know. So when Mo said to me, you've been performing so bad, Aston Villa, one of the hardest away games. statistically this season, I think only
Mhm.
Arsenal have won there, I think, right? That was last year, October, whatever it was. We could have easily won again. We should have drew. There's a goalkeeper unforced error why we didn't draw that game. So is that a performance thing or is that individual quality? Which I've already mentioned?
I think your performances have dropped off.
Yeah, the performances have dropped off. The manager's dog shit, and he is. Maresca's dog shit, and the players are not good enough at times. Look, I look at Chelsea on a real point of view. No bullshit here. Yeah, Chelsea have got some of the worst goalkeepers in the league. They can't challenge for a Premier League with that. The two centre backs you got, I don't think are good enough. Your left back your right back, maybe you need a new right back there. Midfield's good. I'm not going to argue with midfield. I think you've got some really good players in that midfield area. You've got no striker of any quality. Your wide players don't contribute with goals when your strikers are not scoring. People we live in a world of PR transfers now. There's too many players that got PR, but they're not good enough, but they just got PR, so people think they're good. Jadon Sancho is not a good player. He's had one good year in his whole career, and that was in Germany. And he's lived off it ever since. He's not good enough. Neto, I've seen one game from Neto at Chelsea that I saw at Wolves, and that was last week. That was the first time since he's been at Chelsea that I saw the Wolves version of Neto. Yeah, I think
you make good points.
I think Chelsea's got a lot of work to do.
Do you think Chelsea can finish outside top 4 and not win the Conference League then?
Oh, you got to win the Conference League because that.
No, but
I'm going to be honest.
The manager's shit, innit? So
yeah, but I could win the Conference League with Chelsea.
No, I'm not saying. I didn't just say Conference League. The Conference League we have to win, right? I'm saying the league, right? The league, the manager's your words. He's rubbish. Whatever I'm paraphrasing.
I don't think Maresca's good enough. No.
So where Chelsea going to finish? Maresca's not good enough. Neto's just barely been here. Palmer's off form, right? So I want to hear your opinion.
I think Chelsea have finished 5th, I think, 6th.
So we'll still make Champions League.
Yeah, because Man City are terrible. My thing with Chelsea, right? I think personally, I don't know about everyone else on the panel, but I think Chelsea have gotten away with it for 2 years from the media. If Liverpool or Arsenal or anyone else spent the money Chelsea have spent the last few years and weren't successful, we'd be absolutely lambasted. People are coming at Arsenal now for spending almost 700 million and still can't win anything on a constant basis.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Chelsea right now, and if I'm a Chelsea fan, I'll be fuming. I'll be angry. I'll be raging because I've spent all this money on a squad that was meant to get me back up there now with the right man in charge. But I've still got to spend hundreds of millions again in the summer to get close. And I think that's an issue, and that's a problem that no one really wants to talk about. I think Chelsea have got a nucleus of some very talented footballers there.
Same.
And they've got a nice nucleus there of some talent.
Yeah.
But in the important areas of the pitch that win you Premier Leagues and win you titles, they've been complacent in them areas of the pitch to buy the right players, in my opinion. And I don't think they get spoken about enough. And it's a shame because you look at Chelsea in the Roman era, obviously, the way he built that squad, the players he bought, and that was fantastic. The managers he got were fantastic. And Chelsea fans should be right to point to them eras because they were tremendous eras in football for them. But right now, I just don't. I look at this Chelsea team, I think, who's doing the scouting? What are they doing? What players are they looking at? They're meant to be looking at young, youthful players that are going to be great in a few years' time. I think there's some great young, youthful players out there that they didn't buy and bought ones that they thought could be and overpay for a lot of players. And it's going to be difficult for the next few years because like last year, right? You said about injuries, right? Liverpool last year, apart from Newcastle, had the most injuries in the Premier League. Endo played a lot of games for Liverpool and we still finished above Chelsea who spent more money than us. That's my issue with Chelsea. They need to transfer. I think people look at transfer windows sometimes. Go, you spent 500 million. We should win everything, and then you work out what you spent. It's on what players. I keep saying this in football. I always say this about football. It's not how much you spent; it's how good you are at spending it.
Yeah.
And Chelsea are not good at spending it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
They've adopted a weird model. They better hope it works. They've gone for the young approach to develop potential stars.
But do you think it's working though?
this project wasn't gonna show its flowers in 2 years. So that's for this season. See where we finish off. Next
They have
season,
been here for 3 years. They have been.
It's been 2 years.
It's been 3 years. They have been
The first year
adapting
they
this
bought.
model.
This is
Right?
the thing. Again, I'm correcting on the facts.
The first year they bought
The
Koulibaly.
first year they
bought
didn't
like
buy the young
experience.
players. They bought.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
You know the truth. So the
Yeah, yeah.
second year is when they
I
went.
hear
You know,
you.
let's scrap all this Koulibaly and Aubameyang stuff. Let's get the next. Let's go buy Enzo Caicedo, and that now we're regressing the league. It's not to the point where the fans want to be, but we were never going to go from 12th to 4th. 12th, sorry, to first in the league. So, for example,
Yeah.
the reason why I'm not panicking, for example, is because if Chelsea finished 4th this season, which we should, in my opinion, win the Conference League, which we should, in my opinion, that would be a trophy in top 4. And then you buy the players that Jamie's saying are missing, striker who's decent, midfielder cover, and defender. Why can't I sit here and say next season we should be challenging the league?
And a
If you
keeper.
do that,
That's
if you
what
get the keeper, centre back, and
conversation
striker,
then
then
it is linear, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
But
what
that's
I'm
my
saying.
whole argument. If Chelsea finish 4th because of what the football I've watched this season, I am not sure that Chelsea will be able to challenge with this squad and under this manager. Because of how he started the season and the performances of late, I think Chelsea might need a new manager to be able to take them to the next level, to challenge to actually be real challengers for the league.
But I don't think the performances. I think the performances have definitely tailed off. I agree with Jamie and Jess when they said that, but I don't think it's been as bad as like you're
By the-
saying it is.
By the way,
I don't think there's been like where I look at him solely.
Like, we're going to look at
more
it different
players.
than you are, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, everyone looks different. I would look at more of the players. I think like Jess said it, or Mo said it. One of you guys said the players aren't performing. I would look at that more than the manager, in my opinion.
no,
Man's
it's
been
I don't even think they're not performing. I just don't think like they're as good as people thought that they were when they came. And you know, the whole thing about like if we get a striker, if we get a this, if we get a that, that's all well and good. I think when you say that, you're relying upon these really injury prone players, to me that pricks my attention a little bit as well, because ultimately some of your better players are injury prone, so you're going to have to really backfill that team better. But Arsenal, as bad as we've been at some points, without strikers, without certain players, with a shit goalkeeper and Aaron Ramsdale, we were able to challenge, so it's not always just about if we get these couple of pieces. Sometimes it's just your team ain't good enough and your manager ain't got it. Sometimes it's just that, so we're waiting to see whether or not that's all up in the air. We could turn around in next season and I could be like, damn, he really was that guy. Right now, based on the performances of what you just have right now and the team that you have right now and what's been built, I think I'd have questions if I was a Chelsea fan, but then
that's my point. You just said it yourself. 1 minute, literally 1 minute ago, a month ago, the same Chelsea fans, since the beginning, were saying we got our Chelsea back. I think away game. I don't know what away game it was. A month later, I go on Twitter and the same people, I kid you not, we want the protest, get these sporting directors out. Now, the only reason why that's happened is results-based analysis. Because when things were higher flying, we're 1 win away from being top of the league, because Liverpool were due to play that weekend. We didn't win that game ever since we won 3 games in 11. Some panel said it already, the performances dropped off, Palmer's been poor, cool, injuries, cool, that's fine. Chelsea are where we are now, and all of a sudden it's flipped. My whole point is, I'm going to wait to the end of the season to define it overall as the season and make these judgments. I think people saying we're this now, very easy to say this now because we're very poor. Chelsea were to win our next 4 or 5 games in a row. Same people saying this will be like, oh, you know what? Chelsea's turned it around and they could definitely win the Conference League again. I'm confident and they'll probably get top 4 or top 3. That's my point. So I'm going to let it land and kind of see where it goes. I don't think let me do bad you guys make out. That's how I see it.
Let me do the super chats before we move on from this. Mama Flossie, thank you so much for becoming a member, a Newcastle fan, of course. Appreciate you so much. Thomas saying every club wants Kimmich. His wage is 350k minimum. Actually, he's on the current moment 350k. So Chelsea are definitely not going to sign that. I don't think.
Yeah, no way.
He makes 400. He
dropping.
Yeah, he has to take pay cut, Jay. 100%. It's too much.
Yeah, but from 400,000 euros a week, how much cut?
But who's going to pay him? No, who's going to pay him that? Be honest.
No, but he's going to take
Man
a
United.
Yeah, Man United.
Yeah.
I think we've all settled on that. That's the club he's going to.
Thomas saying image wages blow Chelsea pay structure.
Most
Hashtag
clubs,
unrest.
no one's paying him 350. Most clubs in this league.
He's gonna pay 300. Ronald is saying just there are more players. Time for some honesty from the Chelsea players, straight frauds. If you don't get a Champions League, you will be missing PSR. Flawed strategy. Yeah, if Chelsea don't get Champions League, I think you will be missing PSR. Yes, actually, that is true. The problem is, I don't think. Yeah, but listen, I'm not an expert in finance, but from what I read, Chelsea are flying very close to PSR if you don't get. However, there is something that we're all forgetting. Just for your participation in Club World Cup, you'll make 60 million pounds.
100, yeah, 100%.
100 if you reach a semi-final, and just your participation, it's 60 million pounds. Just like that.
That's what's going to get all the top. That's what's going to get all the top teams through PSR problems.
That's what I'm saying, Jay. People always say this about Chelsea, Man City. These clubs are fine. They'll find ways. I'll tell you
who's in trouble for PSR if they don't make Champions League. Aston Villa, because 98% of their outgoings wages.
They're definitely in trouble. They're definitely in trouble. Yeah,
they're gonna win Champions League. They're gonna just.
What about Newcastle? Does anybody know about like what's going on with Newcastle in terms of just like quickly? Does anybody think that they're in trouble or no?
As far as I've been told, that Newcastle have solved their PSR problem and they actually have some money to spend next summer.
Okay.
As far as I've been told. Like some of the people that did.
Who you know, Mo? Who do you know?
No, it's not me. Someone literally commented on one of my videos and actually put the whole Newcastle finances in a comment. Like in details.
Damn, I'd hate somebody to put my business out on there. You know, like, damn, revealed.
Like someone actually put it in details. Actually, how much they can spend and in next summer and all this stuff.
Can you imagine having the richest owner in world sport, but you can't spend money? That's just mad, ain't it?
Yeah. And that's why the Newcastle fans were upset. They're like, we finally got money and they won't let us spend it. And I'm like, perfect, because we ain't got it like that.
That's because Liverpool came and said to them, you can't spend this money. It's not right. The red cartel turned up, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think a young team needs an experienced coach? Of course, a good one.
Yes.
For Chelsea.
Yes.
Wait, you asking me?
I do.
That's a question for Chelsea, definitely. No, anyone can answer, but that's a difficult.
Well, obviously, but the model isn't that. Unfortunately, it's just how the cookie crumbles. They want a young coach to become that guy.
Young players.
They want young players to become that guy. So in 2-3 years' time, they would have been here for 5 years. The model makes sense in theory, but we all know in life, theory isn't reality sometimes. Look at economics. We know about that stuff.
They wanted to do the best impression of Arsenal Football Club. They want to do the best impression.
Not all the models you read about and do mathematicians doesn't equate to reality.
I swear Chelsea really did the best impression of Arsenal Football Club. Young manager, young squad, will be challenging in like 3-4 years.
They did it like flashy as hell. They did way more.
We did a bit more.
Yeah, they did way more. Yeah.
Like Arsenal bought Declan Rice later in the process. Chelsea were like Caicedo, first one. They bought
2 of them.
Caicedo.
Yeah, no, but I think you need experience. Like, maybe it's just because I've never seen it before, but I do not remember a team winning the Premier League. The Premier League is very difficult to win without experience in multiple places. So if you have to offset it in some ways. I think you need one thing that Chelsea fans have been screaming about, which I do think makes a lot of sense, is not having any experienced players to balance out the young players, needing more experience to balance them out. And then if you also have like an inexperienced manager, who is going to offset that? So like we were saying before, like it does make sense, but I've never seen it done. So like, don't try to recreate the wheel. You need experience somewhere down the line. You have to have it.
They're going to buy Mark Gahey and an experienced striker. Tevin here is calling out Jess. Your glasses are so blind tinted. You just might be colorblind. My gosh. I don't know what is that related to.
I've been consistent about this for 2 years. So it's not.
I don't know what is that related to, Tevin, to be honest.
I've been saying the same thing for 2 years. So when it works out, I'll look very calm by it. So we'll see.
Oh, he's putting his chips down on the table. He's like, I'm doubling down.
I'll put my cards down on the floor. I know what's going on.
That's one thing you can say about Ches. He hasn't flip-flopped or anything. He
I
does
haven't
stay.
changed.
Yeah, he does stay.
Kill your academy to buy prospects for other teams is absolutely crazy. Chelsea and their approach is born to fail. It is why Cobham talent leaves Chelsea. I said it 2 years ago. For the good of football, this project has to fail. But I like Chelsea.
Good at football.
You know what the irony is? There's a bit of irony.
Shaz, reality
No,
is for the good of
I'm
football.
saying this comment here.
The way you spend the money, bro, the project has to fail, bro.
Because I get what you're trying to say. I get it.
Like,
But
come on, you're rational enough to know exactly what I'm talking
of
about.
course, because the money, I get the overall moralistic point.
Because if that project works, everyone will try to do the same.
100%, and they'll splash. 100%.
Everyone will like splash
everyone
the
can't
cash
splash.
and think that it's gonna work.
Our situation was different, Mo, because of the situation happened with the last owner. But anyway, this comment is very ironic because if you know your history, you know in the Roman we had a roster of youth players who never joined the team and who were constantly sold and loaned to make us money, which was successful. So Tom, you need to do your research, buddy. Anyway,
it's true. It's true.
Moving on from guys, can we get to 200 likes? Guys, hit that like button underneath the live chat. Appreciate everyone supporting the channel. We talk about Liverpool or Arsenal. We should talk about Kate's addiction.
Is there a chance that if we talk about Liverpool long enough, we will run out of time to talk about Arsenal?
You won 7-1 and you don't want to talk about Arsenal? You won 7-1. You made history and you don't want to talk about Arsenal?
No.
How? How?
I
How?
don't.
Okay, can you explain
Well,
to me
okay.
why? Why? Like, how are you winning 7-1 against a team that everyone said you're going to be knocked out against? And your team made history without a striker, and you don't want to talk about it. It's
Great
really
result.
strange.
Because Arsenal do not care about my mental health. Either be good or be bad. Please care about me. How are you going to do that? What you did, and I know PSV are not a great side. They're not a great side, and they didn't play particularly well. But this just proves my whole point that just because you have injuries doesn't mean you have to play the worst football I've ever seen. It just doesn't make sense when they show up like this and they're playing with like happiness and they're like running around. They're all happy. I'm like, now, so why did you put me through hell for the last couple of weeks? What have you done? You know, it's like I'm broken. So we did that. And my biggest fear is that we turn around and pull our pants down for Man United. Because one thing about us is if you're on a bad run, wait for Arsenal to come into town.
But who cares about Man United? Who cares about them? You're not going to win the league. Who cares?
Mo, you don't know my lore. This is my lore. I hate them. I don't care what state we're in. I don't care if neither one of us are going for anything. I don't care if it's a relegation battle. I want to beat Man United. If we don't win, I'm not coming next week.
I respect that.
But I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things. Arsenal winning against Man United or not.
No, I respect what Jess is saying there. We all hate Man United, the scumbag.
Yeah, hello. If we don't win, it's But I mean, the Champions League, we didn't necessarily get on the best side of the bracket. You know, we're definitely like veering straight into either Madrid side, and both of those like are just fucked. Like, sorry, excuse my language, but it's just like it's over. You know, so and I think this will be like, especially if we go up against Real Madrid, the first time in a long time that we've like been in Europe and we've gone up against somebody that we're meant to go out to. So I just wonder, you know, because most times it's like Arsenal should go through since Arteta's been here, whether it's Europa or Champions League. Now we're coming up against somebody that is meant to slap us up, you know, so I'm not sure how that's going to go, you know, but I'm just taking it a day at a time.
This week highlighted for me, highlighted, there's a huge mentality issue at your club. That's the one thing I noticed. Because when
you just noticed that now?
No, but like I noticed it before. But this week was like, what do you call it? Amalgamation, like crescendo. It was the peak of it. Like 1 week you needed to beat West Ham at home, and you lost. And then the next game was, they're gonna lose, and you had so much freedom, and you scored 7 goals, away from home. It's just mad. Like, it's just crazy. So I respect what you're saying. You can admit it, but Arsenal fans aren't like you who'd admit it. Some of them would be like, no, it's the injuries, and you know, West Ham are doing good in the league. That's what they would say, right?
No, but they're like you. They've doubled down on a certain thought process, and they're like, well, if I get it right, then
stick to
because
it.
that's what
Yeah.
the game is. The game is you double down on something, and if it goes right, you knew before everybody else. I can't operate like that. Once I get new information, I got to change the way that I think. And there's been too many situations over the last couple of seasons where we just had to beat this one team and things could have really been different. And it's not just the first time we challenged. It was when we needed to go to Spurs and we're horrendous, getting red cards in the first minute and stuff like that. So no, like I just, as exciting as that was and as fun as it was kind of empty, just like the 5-1. I would never say this in front of Kel, but the 5-1 was empty a couple weeks ago. It just feels like nothing because it's like it's not.
What do you think comes down to? Is it the manager? Is it the why is that mentality thing there? Is it just
the
how it is?
mentality comes straight from the top? It's not just Mikel. Like it comes hiring Mikel in the beginning tells me exactly what your thought process is anyway. When you have Ancelotti on the market and Mikel on the market, but you go to Mikel, you don't even try to get Ancelotti. You've already told me what direction you're going in and what your thought process
Mirroring the Chelsea
is.
situation, I get you.
Yeah, it starts from the very beginning. So I know you're doing less pressure. You don't want the pressure on. You don't want to win right now. You want to slow things up. You go with young players. I know what you're doing, so it's not, it comes straight from the top. And then you have a novice manager. And I try not to go in on Mikel as much as maybe other people, because I don't think it's because he's inept. I think it's because he's genuinely so new in his job and literally in like one of the types of jobs where you need to win something now. It's not just about even the 5 years. It's about not winning a major trophy in 20. That is a lot of pressure on somebody that has literally never won. He doesn't have any experience winning in his playing career. And equally, now he's meant to come over to Arsenal and do it for the first time. It's a lot. So yeah, I told Mo the other, like a couple months ago, that the only thing I really care about now is the sporting director, because that's literally the only thing that's going to change up top from now until next season. And so that person has to have experience. Everybody from the top down has no experience. Arteta's assistant managers, the or assistant coaches, the players, the people up front, nobody has any experience. So if the sporting director is the only thing that I get, I'll take it. But this season has been a wash. There's very low possibility that we'll win anything. But the reality is most Arsenal fans know that Mikel's not going. So the only thing I can hope for is that sporting director. I am so gassed that we're potentially getting Andrea Berta. He is the perfect person to bring in because Arteta cannot chat to him. He cannot tell him what he should be doing, what he shouldn't, because he's done it before and won the t-shirt. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Arsenal.
Do you think that's what you need, a really strong sporting director?
Yes.
So
yes.
you go, right, this is what you're getting, Mikel, and this is where we're
Yes.
going. And
Yeah, I mean, you want somebody that can work with a strong personality. And if you've worked with Simeone for a long time, you've worked with
if he can work with anyone.
Yeah, 100%. And he hasn't gotten everything right. But my biggest thing is you're always going to make mistakes, but how do you rebound from it? Does it shackle you so badly that you can't move in the next window? How do you maneuver? He has better connections, better experience than Edu. And we just need somebody that at the end of the day, when Mikel comes up and says, let's buy Kai Havertz, he says, fuck no. That's what we need.
Yeah. I hear that.
So did he get a clean slate? Does he get a clean slate with
Mikel?
you, with the new sporting director? Yeah.
Or the sporting director?
No, the manager, the team.
Not necessarily. I don't feel like you just start over. I just feel like I don't know what it's going to take for the ownership to move Mikel on. If it was up to me, I would have moved him on last summer. So it's kind of like, am I going to give him a clean slate? No, because I'm still looking at you like, are you going to win a trophy or what are you going to do? So, but if he's not going to
own a trophy. You're like seventh favorites for the Champions League, and you might not go past.
Not this season, but I'm talking about like next season. Like when he has the new sporting director, I'm still going to be looking at him exactly the same. Are you going to win something? You need to win something now, and now you're better equipped on paper to do better, because this guy's going to buy us a striker. He's bought 50 million strikers for Simeone. He's going to buy us a striker. So you're going to have that. You're going to get probably better players than you have right now. The remit is the same. Win something. Nothing has changed. I think we just have a better chance of doing so if you have somebody, a football mind up front that knows what they're doing. Too many lawyers, not enough football people.
And because of his presence, the sporting director's got, and where he's been in the game and who he's worked with, I think it now puts next season, it puts a lot more pressure on Mikel than it ever has done before, because this sporting director, I think, is probably more. It'd be because I've never seen Mikel Arteta as sackable at Arsenal, because what I hear from Arsenal fans is that the owners absolutely love him. It's like he can't do any wrong. But with this guy coming in as sporting director, especially working under Simeone all these years, and I think they're going to have put him in such a high pedestal, because he's going to be the one in charge of bringing everyone in. If Mikel don't make it work, I think that's going to be the first time Mikel probably feels the pressure at Arsenal.
Yeah, and the one thing that I want to see from Arsenal fans, and I know I won't see it because they cannot be objective, but a lot of the blame was placed on Edu, and I do feel like he does deserve a certain amount of, he does deserve a certain amount of the flack, because we can only see him as the person bringing in the players. But we also know, because it's been widely reported by people that you trust, that Mikel has a very loud voice in the room. So if he can't get it, he can't work with Edu, and they can't create a team that's going to win something, and then this person comes in and there's friction or there's discontent and blah, 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 then I'm thinking you're the common denominator. Because a lot of people just said, well, it's Edu and Arteta's being treated badly and his hands are behind his back and he's a baby and he needs to be held. And no, Mikel's in there running roughshod. He's strong-armed and invincible, you guys, and kicked him out the door. Let's be real. So if he does that to this guy, then we know we're in the darkest days ever, because that means Mikel has carte blanche, and that's what we don't want. So this will clear up a lot, I think, getting in a new sporting director that has experience.
Yeah, I agree.
You're writing off the season completely about the chances of reaching a semi-final of the Champions League.
You just said we have no you just said like 2 seconds ago.
I'm the only... I never said you got no chance. I still think that you have a 20% chance of going past Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, actually. Why is everyone laughing?
I think weirdly, Atletico Madrid is a harder game for Arsenal than Real Madrid.
It is much harder. Simeone is going to sit in that mid to low block and hit us on that counterattack. And that is our kryptonite.
Well, Real Madrid
no, he's not. He's going to attack Arsenal. He doesn't take Arsenal like a big team like this.
No, but you don't have to take us like a big team like that. I just feel like
you just have to defend well against Arsenal.
Yeah, you just have to defend well. And they know if you just go back and forth, you saw what happened to PSV. And I know Atletico's different, but that's why no one opens up against us. Because as bad as our attackers are, we had Marino up front and we were slapping you, so it's just one of those. So ironically, I prefer Real Madrid because I think it'd be a better tie in general. I don't think anybody wants to see Simeone and Arteta going block for block, defensive for defensive. Y'all don't want to see that. At the very least, you want to see Real Madrid get their game off. So yeah, I think it's a better tie in general. It'll force us to open up, and maybe we don't have a better chance, but it'll just be better on the eye, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. So. AMT saying for the sake of football. Yes. Jess is 100% spot on. Yes. Players you put on high wages won't leave for less. That is very true. But I don't know. Arsenal, the problem is Arsenal. They have a lot of players on high wages and they won't leave. But Arsenal need to add. I don't know. I watched this PSV game and I think that Arsenal have a chance of going. I'm not going to give them zero chance like other people have been doing. Arsenal have a strong defense. The midfield is not that bad. And they can shit house their way at home for a 1-1 or a 1-0 or a 2-1. And everything is possible in football, to be honest. This is not, I'm sorry, people talk about Arsenal now as they are Lille or I'm sorry, they are like, seriously.
Big
up Lille, man.
I'm not, see the thing about it. I'm not saying that Arsenal are favorites or something, but you have a chance of going through. This is not like everything.
No, Arsenal are a good football team, man.
Exactly, but people.
If we had Saka, I think I'd feel a little bit different.
But he's gonna get back. He's gonna come back.
Oh, they shouldn't play until
next season. Don't play.
They should rest.
But how good is Ethan, though? I mean, that's at least exciting. He's pretty much the only thing, him and Miles Lewis-Skelly, that are like saving the season, to be honest. So
Skelly, the thing with Skelly, he's just got to calm down a bit, ain't he? He's got to chill a little bit, ain't he?
Maybe, a little bit.
When he's a top player, man. Top player.
Yeah.
You know, the problem with this is a lot of people are saying that this Arsenal team have regressed massively, apart from Arteta, who thinks they progressed. He's the only one in the world. You know, he told the media that we progressed because of the injuries. We should not have been second. He literally told the media this.
Arteta says Arsenal are the best team in the league.
Yeah.
He's feeding the fans'
Mikel
agenda.
is in his own world. Okay. I don't listen to his press conferences. I haven't listened in years, but
That's the problem is you don't, but a large part of your fan base do. And they regurgitate what he says.
yeah, of course. Like, I'm just cynical. You know, like, of course. You listen to the manager.
Didn't you liked Arteta about 2 years ago or a year ago?
Yeah.
Right? What changed? 2 years.
I think what changed is I like you to like, I get you have to change things. Like I'm a big, like, you know, if you don't feel like something is working, you need to be not rigid. You need to be flexible to change things. But I think when you throw the whole book out because you missed out against City, you know, in a season where you weren't even meant to challenge, and you second guess yourself so badly that you change who you are fundamentally as a manager, I always hold on to what he said when he first got here, his very first interview. The way that he spoke about the type of football that he wanted to play was definitely what we did in 22-23. Very dominant, very attacking, always in the other people's half, always, you know, lots of goals, exciting Arsenal football. What he's regressed to, because nobody's regressed more than Mikel, in my opinion, as a manager. The last 2 seasons have not been that person. And I get that in certain games, you have to be a little bit more stout. You have to be a little bit more defensive. But when you're just as defensive against Everton as you are against everyone else, I can't respect that. I need you to be the person that you are. And I just feel like he's not the manager that he was 2 seasons ago. And I'm thinking that as a strong person, like a strong manager, a strong figure, really believes in what they're saying and doubles.
But he has the attacking things in him. Like you watch the PSV game, you watch the Man City game.
But it's not consistent. The way that, Mo, think about the way that if we need a goal, when we need a goal, he's different. You can blame it on the players all you want, but even when his decision making 2 seasons ago, when we needed a goal, he would add an attacker to the group. He would add someone and take a defender off. Now, if we need a goal, he changes the DM. Or he changes the fullback. He has changed. I don't care what, like, I don't care. He has changed. And that
does he have the tools?
You cannot be scared and win a Premier League. Klopp was not scared. Pep is not scared. They make changes. They're not as rigid, you know, but
I hear you.
You know, they believe
Jess,
in what they're doing. Arteta doesn't believe in what
that's why you need Ange Postecoglou.
Huh?
You need Ange Postecoglou. As more attacking.
No, I didn't say I don't want delusion. I want confidence. No, but I get what you're saying, but we kind of have that in Arsene. You need the right balance, and he was so close to it in 2022 and 2023. He just needed to fine-tune it, and he threw the whole thing away. And that makes me very suspect about what kind of person you are. I don't want to say it's beta, but it's definitely not giving confidence and that energy. It's not, you know, and I can't get with it. I cannot get with it. I like Mikel, but I don't get why he threw everything away. I don't get it.
I know what you're saying. Diallo here is saying Atleti are more attacking than ever. It will be tough. By the way, Atletico Madrid will be attacking. By the way, they won't be defending.
Atletico Madrid. I watch a lot of La Liga now, and Atletico Madrid arguably play the best football in Spain at times as well. They're a very good side.
More balanced team. Arsenal are not shit. People are overdoing it now.
I don't even think people think that most Arsenal fans.
Relative to what you're trying to achieve, not in general.
They're not a shit club, but
not a rubbish team.
All it is, I'll tell you what it is. It's this year because with a lot of Arsenal fans, they can't believe it that Arne Slot's come from absolutely nowhere and he's going to win it in his first season. And the thing is that the narrative has changed as well, because if you go at the beginning of the season when now you knew Arne Slot was coming in, they're like, oh, this Liverpool team won't be the same without Klopp. Their players are, Salah's legs are going, players not as good as they are. Klopp did miracles. And now it's, Arne Slot took over a world-class squad. He just can't.
Yeah,
You know,
it doesn't make any sense. You know what? You know this comment, Diallo? Arsenal are one of the toughest teams to beat. It's all fine and great. But maybe that was a year ago or 2 years ago when you were like, yes, we're looking for progress. Like, for example, Maresca can say that. If Maresca
Yeah,
makes
I get
Chelsea,
you're going with this. I get you.
like, if Maresca makes Chelsea one of the toughest teams to beat for a year or two, fantastic.
That's
Okay,
progress
great.
from now, but that's not the end goal. Your
But
point.
after this, that has to lead to something tangible.
But this is
that
the
I can
problem, man.
touch.
This is
I
the problem. A
can
lot of
hold-
Arsenal fans, if you listen to them, Jess is obviously a bit more critical, you could say, right? But a lot of Arsenal fans who would ask, why would you not get rid of him? You know what they'll say? Because we're not getting battered anymore. Because we're not a banter club anymore. Because you don't lose 8-2 anymore.
Bavs,
That's literally what they say.
for example, brags about when is the last time we have been beaten by a big six club.
That's my point.
I'm like, I get what you're saying, Bavs. It's a fact.
Yeah, no.
But that was good for a year.
Can I add context to that, though? Because I feel like you're 100% correct. But like, as an Arsenal fan that's a little bit older than that group, they quite literally have never seen a team as good as this one.
Okay.
They've never seen it. This is as good as it's
like
been.
20 to 30.
They haven't. So they're holding on for dear life. If you're my age, which is
25, you're 21.
Is 25 in the streets. I'm 25 years old, okay?
Okay.
But if you're as old as I am, you know what a good Arsenal team is. I can tell them straight up, like the teams from even 2008 and 2010 are better than this team because I've seen it. They just didn't get it over the line. The Invincibles way better. The teams even before that way better. Like this team is not as close as to being what we need to be in terms of challenging on multiple fronts and, you know, being the top tier team. We're not there yet, but they are holding on for dear life because this is as good as it's ever been. And that's sad, but it's the truth. And usually they fall in probably between like 21 to 25-ish years old. But, and also, I don't know, how did you end up following Arsenal at that age anyway? Because we were shit already. You know,
it could have been worse. They could have chose Tottenham. Let's be fair.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those where I kind of give them grace in that respect because I feel like they almost don't know better. But us old people out here, we're like, this ain't it. So you can tell, like the ones that are older, we're probably the ones that are more cynical and more.
Arteta has underachieved, but he don't have the tools.
He doesn't have. He may not have the tools to beat a top tier city to a Premier League, but he definitely has the tools to win a cup. And that's where, he has the tools to win.
Here's the thing, like when you mention that, there's no coming back from the argument. When you say to them, you've won no trophies in 5 years, that's kind of it, really, isn't it? Like, it's not really to debate.
No, there are a lot of comebacks, bro. Tons.
Of course,
COVID year.
Whatever.
He took over a team. He had to build it. Alex Ferguson took 6 years. It's only his third year, realistically. The first year was not supposed to be challenging. Bro, I can go on and on about responses. You know, there's plenty of them. But I hear what Diallo's saying. Like, listen, my man. He's saying, I'm not making an overachieving argument. I'm strictly talking about the Champions League. Being tough to beat is a great recipe in cup football.
This is what annoys me before you move on. They keep comparing it to Chelsea's team that won it. It keeps happening. They're going, if Chelsea won it, why can't we?
Yes. Give me a reason why not.
N'Golo Kante. Move the conversation on. He's the reason why we won the Champions League. And Tuchel. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's massive. That's not a small feat. That's one of the best managers in the Premier League ever.
Tuchel was an okay manager before.
In that season was performing. He made it to 6 finals in 2 years. He was on a mad run.
Well, he's known as a cup manager, ain't he? That's what he's
cup manager. Jamie's team beat us to 4 of those finals. He easily could have walked away with 10 trophies in 2 years. That's crazy.
You know, to be honest, the oldest talk, Arne Slot came to a Liverpool team that finished twice behind Liverpool and finished Salah, no DM, Diaz and Gakpo.
Nobody thinks Salah was finished. Who was saying that?
Oh, a lot of people. Jess, there were some Liverpool fans in the summer that wanted to sell Mo Salah.
Oh no! Well, in we played y'all in preseason, and even then, you could tell. I was like, okay, what's going on here? I was like, they should be struggling to figure out what Slot's trying to say. Salah should be a little slower. He looked relaxed. He looked so relaxed. I'm like, just because you're old, I had this conversation with a friend the other day. We throw away strikers and attackers too quickly because they turn 30. If they're not really showing signs, you should not be getting rid of players that have goals, because I'm so sorry, you cannot replace the Salahs. So unless his leg is falling off, you keep going. You know, this is a completely different conversation than what we had about Son, who's showing physical decline. Salah's not showing physical decline.
Does this season show that is Slot overachieving, or did Klopp underachieve, or is it somewhere in the middle?
Before we go to Liverpool, disagree, Jess. 23-24 Arsenal is the best. 16 wins out of 18.
And what did you win? And what did you win?
I like the team that was
that's the point.
Listen, I like the team that was more consistent than the team that was only good for half of the season. But I hear what you're saying. The peak of that team was better, but who really cares? 2022, 2023.
To be fair, everyone did think you could win it last season, to be fair. That Aston Villa loss was a shock. Let's not lie.
Should have won it if they drew the line.
It was a shock. Even for me, I'm a rival. I don't want you guys to win. But even I was like, what? They bottled it? Really? Like, how could you bottle it? You're like 3 games left.
It's the pressure, Man City, man.
That pressure. And all your fans walked out like the Brighton game. It was literally a cyclical narrative. The same thing happened.
We get that.
Oh, right, I get you. That makes sense.
Yeah. The Liverpool thing.
Yeah. My question.
Listen,
I can answer this easy.
Go ahead.
So last season, up to about the end of February, March time, Liverpool were the best team in the league because we were top of the league the whole time. It's when our injuries happened. Like, our injuries were mad, as Jess will know, because that cup final with the kids that we had to bring on for extra time and everything. Our injuries were mad, and that's why we fell off. And the players ran out of steam because Klopp football is just it's a madness, saying that your players. Now, Klopp needs a squad of 40. If you could have 40 players in the squad, Klopp would win everything because his style of football is just so different. But it does kill your legs long term, no doubt. And that's why we went off. And then this season, I said it in the summer. I got absolutely lampooned. I got people coming at me. I said in the summer, Liverpool go win the Premier League, and I got laughed at. And the reason I said it is because I believe in my team. I believe in my squad. You know, I look at my team and I think I look at the squad, especially the first 11. I like, there's not a lot of big squads anymore. I think most good squads now have got about 14 to 16 players. That's what look at with really good squads now. And I look at Liverpool's and I think, like, tell me what's really bad about it. Like, what's terrible about this squad? And Arne Slot, I did my research on Arne Slot. He's actually a very good coach. Just go and look what he did in the Dutch league. You know, look what if COVID. He was level on points of that very good Ajax team when COVID hit. Right, he was level on points, and then obviously they cancelled the league, so we don't know how he would have done there. He then went and took Feyenoord with no money and won the league title, then won the cup the following year.
But I got a question for you, Jamie. Does this Liverpool team win the league last season?
Well, it's the same Liverpool team, isn't it? So if this Liverpool team stay fit, I think they would have, yeah.
You think last season this Liverpool team would have won the league?
The proof is, Mo, we were top until the injuries happened.
No.
So if these players stay fit,
but also,
I think we won the league.
Slot also, without even added players by being able to lock in with Gakpo and lock in with Gravenberg. Those he didn't Klopp didn't have those players. You cannot take that away from him. Gakpo, I think a lot of us were like, is he what is his position? He scored a shit ton of goals already this season, and Gravenberg is like one of the best midfielders in the league. You can, that's adding those two players alone just from coaching is really impressive.
What I say about Slot. I think Slot's profiling of a player maybe is very good. Like, he saw Gravenberch. I don't know how much football Gravenberch have actually played this season under Jurgen. I'm not quite sure if Jurgen was still here, but we was after a number 6 and a DM of a different version of a DM. Like Slot, he's said it many times. He doesn't want your Ugarte version of a DM. He wants a DM that can play, and he wanted Zubimendi. Deal didn't happen. He had Gravenberch there, and he's like, I'm going to make Gravenberch my Zubimendi. And now I look at it, I don't know who's better. So Like Graham Butch has been fantastic. McAllister, I don't think gets enough credit. He's been absolutely superb.
He's all right.
He's one of your
Oh,
best players.
He's all right though.
He's so good.
Stuff.
Let's be real. It's been Salah's helped you a lot this season.
Oh yeah, but
Let's be honest.
that's what star players are meant to do, ain't it? That's the whole
No,
thing,
but here's
isn't
the thing. When I make comments like that, people think I'm being redundant, like excusing it. I'm just stating a fact, really. It's not a bad thing.
Salah's been
Yeah.
amazing.
Like when people said to me,
little
like
go
when I said
managed,
earlier about Kante, we had Kante, so we won it. Like it's not a bad thing. It's just
That's
acknowledgement
what
of
world-class players do, ain't it?
there we go. He stepped up even more this
Even
season.
like, look at
Like-
Alisson yesterday.
Well, that
He
was
was like, as much as people are like PSG bottled it, they were taking good shots. They weren't just like hitting it wide and hitting it over. Alisson was making world-class saves. He was man of the match before the first half even ended. I was like, there's no way that PSG are going to get anything out of this game. They're going to go to Anfield with nothing because Alisson has rolled back the years and decided that he was going to go back to whatever. Like, it's ridiculous. They have just certain types of players in their team that are one of ones, that are special players, that come up with big moments when it fucking matters. And that's, to me, like, they will always be in a conversation as long as they have those players. It's just the truth.
So if they lose those players, do you think Jamie? Actually, you would know.
It's a struggle.
Is Salah leaving?
No, I think Salah and Virgil stay. I'm just not sure about Trent.
That's what I think. Why haven't they? Are they waiting till the season first?
I reckon they'll wait till the end of the season.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, I just don't think Trent stays. I think my head is in Madrid, but
so
I do think stay.
Can I ask you guys something? Is anybody worried about the second leg at Anfield at all?
No.
Oh.
I am worried to a point that PSG are a good side, but I think that goal. See, that game yesterday was mental. You know, because I ain't gonna lie, Liverpool was shocking. I mean, it was low block for life, mate. We were the opposite way round to Spurs, you know. It was low block for life, and we were just we just sat in. You know, Slot said it after the game. We tried to treat this game like the way we played against Man City, but unfortunately, you know, PSG.
I think the players let him down.
Yeah, the players let him down.
There's two players that let him down in this game, Salah and Diaz, because
Salah and Diaz were dog turd all game.
Because they got into the positions that they got into the positions they wanted to get, and Salah just couldn't dribble. Diaz couldn't dribble. They couldn't
pick Salah up. I will say that for sure. Salah locked up.
And most rightly, I said this last night as well, because when you watch the game, it don't seem like it. But there are 3 or 4 times in that game where Slot's tactics work, where we actually had him on the counter attack and had like a 3-on-2. And if Salah or Diaz's passes were just better, we probably got 1-on-1s.
Yes.
So there was situations, but because that didn't happen, it looks like we did get beaten up. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But look, we've got the best goalkeeper in the world. I've always said it. He's the best goalkeeper in the world.
Kate, what is the prediction for the second leg?
Look, everyone's coming for me. Apparently, everyone's been telling you, Mo, all about my prediction. And you know what? They had 27 shots, 10 on target. You know, it wasn't.
Here comes the stat sheet come out. You know what I mean?
It isn't something I plucked out the air. Let's be fair. After the first sort of half an hour, I'm sure most people were looking at it thinking, wow, PSG are going to trounce these. And I don't think it's going to be straightforward for Liverpool at Anfield, but I do expect them to get through. And I even said when I predicted 4-1, I wouldn't count Liverpool out from overturning it at Anfield, because Anfield on European nights is different gravy. And we all know that because we saw it at Barcelona. But for the second leg, I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Liverpool.
PSG? Oh, okay. I thought you were
saying Liverpool play completely different at home, and PSG won't play like they did at home. So it'll be a different game. But with that Anfield crowd in Europe, that's why Liverpool fans always want Anfield in the second leg, just because for some reason, I will admit, Anfield in the Premier League at times is dead. I ain't gonna lie. But for whatever reason it is, Anfield on a European night is like arguably one of the hardest stadiums in Europe to go to.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about that.
Yeah. Guys, stop underplaying the Liverpool squad slot inherited.
Yes, they all did it in the summer, though. Now you changed your mind.
Hold on. Diallo, you're an Arsenal fan. You finished 2 seasons ahead of this magnificent Liverpool team. So on paper, Arsenal should have a better squad than Liverpool. Facts. 2 seasons, back to back. Lie, you didn't plan to sit back. Liverpool got pushed back.
No, we did plan to sit back. Our manager said it.
No, but
I
to be
mean-
fair, let's not revise history too much. Jamie is an outlier. He's not. He's one of the only Liverpool fans that predicts them to win the league. Most Liverpool fans didn't predict Liverpool to win the league. Nor no rivals did either. So it's not revised history. The reality is slop.
I said
man.
third.
Slop.
I said third. Chef.
Yeah, I said third.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
everyone's saying,
somewhere
Liverpool
up
should finish
there.
third is not an outrageous take. They've just
Yeah.
overachieved in terms of
Yeah,
we expected. Jamie, fair enough to Jamie, he predicted it, but no one predicted Liverpool to win the league. There's not lie here.
Hmm.
Like,
No.
Well, a lot of people predicted us finish out of top 4.
No.
to be
Well,
honest.
I think
That's
that's
mad, that's
where
mad.
that's where it
Like,
went too far. It
I
was-
said third, fourth in the league.
Yeah.
I thought you did Champions League. I didn't think you did the league.
Yeah.
Guys, can we listen to Luke and hit that like button? Thank you, Luke, for supporting the channel, guys. We're very close to 200 likes. So hit that like button, people. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate you so much. People are saying, Mo, you that misconduct my position, stop lying. I never said anything about you, my man. I never said anything about you, bro. I never said that you said that.
Dello's taking anything serious.
No, but I don't think I didn't say anything. You literally said you're underplaying the Liverpool squad, but Arsenal finished ahead of them 2 years back to back. And
Yeah.
you are gaining experience and Liverpool are losing legs. So logically speaking, Arsenal should have finished ahead of Liverpool this season. Logically speaking. Yeah. Anyway, listen. We'll see the second leg. But listen, people, I want to appreciate everyone that is here. Jessica Black TV, and she knows Arsenal, both in the description. Kate and Jimbo channel in the description. Spurs, Jamie Phillips, Shez, who's gonna stream tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Tomorrow
Yeah,
he's gonna
tomorrow
stream
morning
doing
I'll
a
do
game
I can't
review.
watch that. But yeah.
He's gonna do a review tomorrow. I want to appreciate everyone that tuned in, like the video, subscribe to the channel, past the 30K. I want to appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow on the National League. And all the guys' channels in the description. This will take you to Hussam. And we're out of here, people. Thank you so much.